What's happened to language? You talked about fundamental and evangelical and denominational. I was intrigued recently. I did some homework on this actually. Churches and ministries that are adopting one name. And I'm just going to call them out. Mosaic, Ethos, Journey, Bridge, Generation, Redeemer, conferences called Orange, Engage, Exponential, Arc, Unleash. To me, it seems like there's something more. It's reductionistic theology. What happened to, we are a church that makes disciples? No, we're a church that transforms the heart. Here's the Enneagram for 6 weeks. I mean, I don't want to be pejorative, but it's like, what happened? And language is revealing. And I watch these younger pastors obliquely and almost obligatorily say, no, we can't be evangelicals. We can't be discipleship. We have to be transformational leadership. Well, that's fine to talk about, but we're supposed to make disciples of all ethnos. We're supposed to share Christ, be evangelical, share the good news. So am I just like an old dinosaur because I like the Bible language?
It's one of the reasons why I love you so much as a friend, because you are so discerning. Okay, we are to be discerning saints, which means you really have to redeem the times, and then you have to be cognizant of what's going on. Everything you just said, I'm seeing replicated in Christian publishing. I cannot make this up. Literally, I've been getting books lately on how to rebrand your church. It's like, well, I'm not selling a hamburger. Okay, it's the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then I go back to what Jesus did. The answer here is authentic Christianity. Just give them the good news. It still sets the captive free. We don't preach hell and sin and salvation and redemption anymore. We're trying to be friendly. We're trying to be seeker friendly. And you know what the problem is? This goes back to 1 Kings. How long will you limp between two opinions, says Elijah to the pagan. We are limping back and forth between being loved by the world and loving Christ. And one of these days we're going to have to make a choice, because I'm not interested in being loved by the world. I want to love people, but I want to love them to the foot of the cross. I remember so much a friend in Israel saying, you know, the Christians in America will send money to plant trees. They won't send money to print Bibles. And you know what? The problem is you're loving us to death. And I've never forgotten that. So in other words, we've forgotten what the meaning of love is. We think we've got this supercilious, sappy idea of what love means. Love means I care for you so much, I don't want you to go to hell. I love you so much, I want to tell you about the cure for death. I love you so much, I want to tell you how sin-sick souls are made whole again. But the problem is there's a risk there. Now you're starting to do some risk analysis. Well, I might not be invited to the best parties. I might lose my job. I might not be considered kind and loving, nurturing, and all of these other words that are like a pair of fuzzy slippers. But the reality is, when it's all said and done, to quote the old patriarchs, the world gets divided into two camps. Those who said yes and those who said no. And there's no second chance. And so I really think, and again, it isn't a matter about being panicky. It's about understanding the urgency of the gospel message, where in a world of blurred mores and confused ethics, the clarity of the cross is more important now, and quite frankly, in some respects, is easier now than ever before for us to proclaim it, because the distinction between darkness and light has never been more profound. I choke a little bit when I hear all of this trendy stuff, because I'm thinking, ultimately, when it's all said and done, I got a newsflash for you. It's called the offense of the cross. You can church it up all you want to. It's a dividing rod. It's why it's called a sword. And people are going to be divided into two camps. I want you on my side of the team. And I'm going to do everything and anything I can to get you to come to the cross. I know it's the power and the work of the Holy Spirit. But if I can live authentic Christianity by declaring truth in love, always through a grace narrative, that's enough. I don't have to have multiple screens and a rock band and a contemporary version versus an old-fashioned version. Just give them the gospel. It still sets the captive free. We're so interested in the way we market the message, we fail to remember that Jesus is the message. To quote our dear friend Anne Graham Lotz, just give them Jesus.